Welcome to our latest OnFARM. I'm Anna Davis and this is our 5th episode in association with the Royal Highland and Agricultural Society of Scotland. If you like the very best of food and drink, this one is definitely for you.
My name is Valentina and I am from Alanda's. We are a small family business based in the heart of East Lothian, and we focus on producing quality products using our finest local Scottish ingredients.
My name's David Equi. I'm the owner and managing director of Equi's Ice Cream, which is based in Hamilton, has been for 98 years. And we are the reigning Royal Highland Show Ice Cream Champion of Champions.
My name is Jill Withyman. I'm the marketing manager for Angus Soft Fruits. And we breed, grow and pack berries from all around the world to ensure consistent supply of the best tasting berries for all of our customers.
Yeah, I'm Stuart Hood. I own and run Hood's Scottish Honey, based in Ormiston in East Lothian. There's nothing like the Highland. It is the pinnacle.
Today, we're asking why it matters that the Royal Highland Show showcases the best of Scottish food and drink. Who really benefits? Why does it matter? What impact does all of this have on us as consumers?
Being a part of the Royal Highland Show is really a really amazing accolade for any business, I think, any food producer in Scotland. It's just such an honour to be involved. You know, it's really difficult to be selected for it, and I think that being a part of it really shows, you know, that your business is producing something worth talking about.
You know, it's a fantastic opportunity to showcase our fruit and to meet with customers and growers, and also provides a really great platform to meet end consumers such as yourself and gain really valuable feedback on our brands and on our fruit. We see the same people year in, year out, and we've built up such a lovely rapport. It's so lovely to see the familiar faces year in, year out.
Food and drink and Scotland's Larder Live, or the food hall, as the oldies among you like myself will probably refer to it as, are definitely among the big things that hook people into the Royal Highland Show every year. They're a massive draw. You can be absolutely certain that those exhibiting and those competing are the very best that there is.
So the very first year we entered the Royal Highland Show, we won Champion of Champions for, it was Raspberry Cranachan. And we have won it since, and then this last year we won with, it was a sort of speciality. You can win with any choice of flavour. When we won in the UK Championship, it was for our vanilla, but at the Royal Highland Show we won with, it was pomegranate with ginger and elderberry.
It's a lot more to us than selling products. It's brand awareness. Some of the people that pass us, some of the business we've done, some of the contacts we've made at the Highland Show, they couldn't be replicated anywhere else. So to launch a new product, it's the place to launch it. Because also, most of the people that go to the Highland, you've got a pretty frank opinion on your new product.
We really are showcasing the best of Scotland's produce, food and drink, and manufactured and processed products.
You do set the bar. If you're truly passionate about what you do and you work super hard with it, there's no limit to how far you'll go to make your product good. Like, you'll just put your heart and soul into it and make it as best as it can be. And that's when you're like truly passionate about what you do. And I think that's what a lot of people that go to the Highland Show have in common, because everyone is super passionate about what they do and they just want it to be the best and they want to showcase that.
There was so much in those clips. We heard from Valentina from Alanda's, not just ice cream but amazing seafood. They were in the East Food Court last year for their first year as one of many food-to-go businesses, and they made a huge impact with their beautiful displays. Stuart from Hood's Honey and Jill at Ava Berries, both businesses are long-standing and extremely popular food hall exhibitors. And lastly, David from Equi's Ice Cream, the Martina Navratilova of ice cream. They've won everything. It was a great snapshot. Coming up next, I've had a really good in-depth chat about all of this with two of Scotland's top food and drink experts.
I'm Wendy Barrie. My day job is producing the Scottish Food Guide and Scottish Cheese Trail. And for the Royal Highland Society, I'm delighted to be managing Scotland's Larder Live Cookery Theatre. And also, I co-founded the Scottish Bread Championships at the show with Andrew Whitley. And I do a pop-up cheese tasting also within the food hall. So different remits in the different corners of the food hall.
Just briefly, there might, heaven forbid, there might be somebody listening to this podcast who has never been to the Highland Show and never witnessed what goes on at the Cookery Theatre. Could you just very briefly describe to us what happens and kind of, if you can, slightly relive the experience?
Oh my, we have a range from first thing in the morning till tea time of hourly shows, all complementing and contrasting each other, a mix of seafood and baking and beef and vegetables. And we also have some wild cards in there. This year we would have had the Gold Award winning dinner ladies from Ayrshire, who are wonderful because, you know, that's another element. There's so many probably millions of children that eat school meals every day. That was part of the Food for Life programme, that, you know, you eat more local produce from the local farms, part of the food education like RHET does. So we tie in with TV chefs, but also very much right down to boring down to family meals with the Batch Lady as well. International stories from Mark Ayres and his celebrities he's got to make food for. Craig making food for at international customers up in Eat on the Green. I mean, I like to include an incredible range so that people keep coming back to the food hall during the day to see what chef's on.
No wonder you're always such a busy lady, Wendy. You've got a lot of plates to spin there, don't you? I'd love to move over to Charlotte. Charlotte, do you mind giving us a wee introduction about yourself, please?
Sure thing. So yes, I'm Charlotte Maberly, and I was co-founder and lecturer and programme leader for the MSc Gastronomy, which is a university programme at Queen Margaret University studying the interrelationship between food culture, economics, farming, all kinds of different aspects of food, focusing on Scotland. And I took people around Scotland on tours to experience food culture and farming firsthand. And now I'm transitioning to being an outdoor educator. I'm also still a food educator independently. And those are the things that really strike me. Those are the most important aspects of the Highland Show for me, is how it brings together the cultural and the economic and the real life experiences of farming on the land. It's a really extraordinary event.
It sure is. And Charlotte, I understand that you yourself have been a judge in one of the very famous Highland Show competitions. Is that correct?
It is. I was lucky enough to be on the panel for the Bread Awards a couple of years ago with Wendy, and it was absolutely fascinating. I have never seen such a beautiful array, a beautiful display of sourdough breads from all over the country. It was really moving, actually, to see how many people are making sourdough now and the high quality to which they're making it. And we had the terrible task of having to taste our way through the loaves, which was really wonderful, really, really good fun.
Oh, it sounds like heaven to me. I just not sure if I could decide whether I'd prefer to judge bread or ice cream or cheese. Actually, maybe all three of them.
Well, there were a couple of interesting things about my experience in the bread competition, judging the bread competition. Firstly, I grew up in Scotland, and the notion of being able to get a sourdough loaf in the Borders where I live was just a totally alien thing. No one knew what sourdough was about, however long ago it was that I was young. Let's not talk about that. But I walked into this hall and there was this table with 98 individual loaves on it. All of them were stunning. They were all beautiful, and the smell from these sourdough loaves was just beautiful. And then I was told that I had to taste my way through 20, I think it was, with a partner, and which we did. And it was, again, just so astonishing to experience the difference between each of those 20 loaves, and then to think, well, there's going to be a difference amongst the 98 as well. It was really hard to select which one was the best. It was even difficult to quantify the quality of each of the elements we were being asked to judge. But I don't know. I mean, the best thing that came out of that experience for me was just to see that there were so many people across Scotland now producing high quality, delicious bread, which is something I could not have imagined as a child. But now I know is a sort of standard thing. It's happening out there. People are taking pride in it. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
What was your kind of feeling? How did you feel when you were listening to those clips from some of those food producers and what they were saying?
Oh, welling up. It's such a big extended family. Everybody arrives from across the whole land. Many haven't seen each other since that time last year. Everybody works their socks off, but there's always time for good crack as well.
One of the things that came up a lot in what they were saying was that it really raises the standards, or encourages people to raise the standards of food. What they're producing, how they produce it, the recipes they use, etc., and also the sustainability of their products as well. And I think one of the reasons that is the case is because shows like the Highland Show are a unique chance for, one, producers to get together. Normally they don't have time to hang out with one another and chat and compare notes and see what one another are doing, but also for them to meet face to face with the public. And that's actually a really key part of this because, they get feedback directly from people tasting their products, and they figure out how to improve it right there on the spot.
Yes. And in fact, so many people have said that who we've spoken to have said, the customers at the Highland Show are really quite honest, and that honesty is great for product development because you can't improve your product unless you know what the end customer wants to be tasting. And Wendy, you've touched on it already, the fact that the Highland Show is just this wonderful balance between commercial reality. People and businesses are there because they need to make money, they need to make sales. But there's also the wonderful aspect of seeing other producers and having the social thing. I know Stuart from Hood's Honey said, he sees the same customers year after year and has great chats with them. So how within the cookery theatre that you run and manage, how do you manage to balance that, giving the customers what they want and making it a wonderful showcase, but also recognising the commercial reality for the producers who are nearby in the food hall?
Well, within the theatre, we have a completely unique situation in that the chefs give their time. And I say that the chefs and the cooks are the heroes and the champions, and the food is the celebrity. The produce is a celebrity, because there isn't one of the chefs or cooks that doesn't give up their time, that hasn't won an award in their field. And yet they're giving their time. They love coming and doing the Highland Show. And so I ensure that there are people that are comfortable on stage, that they are driven by their local produce, and that we get a fair coverage across Scotland. So any year I've got about 20 chefs with about 7 programmes over the 4 days. And they quite often link in with their suppliers, especially if they know they've got a stand in the food hall, so that we get that fantastic matrix of the chefs who are not just, popping off a plane and, paying lip service and, shaking the odd hand. They know when the food is harvested, they know where it's being produced, and they can talk from their heart because they know exactly who they're talking about. So it's a very powerful message, a very honest message. They are so happy to be promoting the producers as well. So it's a wonderful synergy.
We'll come back to that chat with Wendy and Charlotte shortly. Now, though, we're going to spend some time with another of those hard-working producers and a Highland Show regular and one of the most popular food-to-go caterers on site.
I'm Steve Mitchell from the Buffalo Farm in Fife. I used to be able to call myself a farmer. I would say I'm now more office-bound and running the business, but, the farm is still very much the focal point of all that we do.
I think I could hear some beautiful bird song in the background, actually, so that's perfect for this.
I've got them well trained round here.
Got them primed, ready. Oh, quite right.
So I'm surrounded by the animals of Buglilly. We've got a couple of buffalo in the field in front. We've got our extremely popular pygmy goats beside us as well, and then you'll hear the odd duck and chicken, and then our extremely noisy turkeys. We'd like people to feel that they're getting a wee sense of coming to the farm when they come and collect their orders from here. So that's what these animals are, mostly here as attractions and just for interest, and us doing a little bit to try and educate the public I also have to admit the pygmy goats are extremely cute, so I'm a bit of a softie. They were bought for my wife as a present, and it was meant to be 2, and somehow we have about 22 now. But they're a lot of fun, and it actually really big help to us here in terms of entertaining the public and keeping people interested to come.